Welcome to Small Business Hacks. In this video, I'm gonna tell you how to analyze your competition. If you're not alone in your area or industry, and other sellers can take your market share, you must include in your plans an effective competitive analysis. That is what you'll learn today to boost your small business. Let's start with some context. January of 2016. Despite successive promotions, I decided to finish my airline career and start my own business in a different segment. My plan was to open a backpacker hostel in Europe. I knew about the fierce competition in the sector. Just in my own city, there were over 80 direct competitors, and the failure rate was abysmal. Only with a deep understanding of who was on the other side of the ring, I could win that fight, and my company could survive. Fast forward to 2021 and my business not only still alive but 2 times larger. We survived the ruthless competition and the pandemic, and now we are the 3rd largest player in our sector. Here I will give you a simple but robust 4-step structure and the name of few tools to do your competitive analysis while venturing into unfamiliar territory. First, mind the name of every company that will compete with you for customers. In situations where we are planning business in a new environment, the first step of a competitive analysis is to discover who are your competitors. In this first step, it's important to be broad. Select every firm that you would pursue the same customers like yours. If your business is online, geographic variables may not be that important, but if you are a brick-and-mortar business, like a hotel or a restaurant, limit the scope by geographic region. Fortunately, in times of big data and the internet, this got a lot easier. Below I list some tools and techniques helpful to define your competitors. Google Maps. After zooming the map in your area, search for companies in your segment and copy the results to a sheet to start building your list of competitors. Business aggregators, websites that aggregate and facilitate finding firms in a certain segment. Examples: Booking.com for hotels, Amazon local deals for retailers, Agency Spotter for design and marketing agencies, and etc. Social media. In 2019, 91% of American companies used social media. In other regions, the percentage is smaller but growing. The advantage is that finding your competitors in social media is easy and intuitive. Just use the search field. Keywords. Discover competitors by exploring the keywords your customers type in search engines like Google. One little trick is to use the Internet Navigator in incognito mode. Type your business segment and let the browser autocomplete it. For example, when I type Hostel Warsaw to discover the competitors of my hostel, the browser autocomplete tool suggests some of my main competitors. Second, now that you know your main competitors, separate your list by primary, secondary, and tertiary competitors. After using the tools of the first step, now you have a list. But the degree that each one of them will dispute customers with you will vary. Therefore, in the second step, you separate them into 3 groups. Primary competition. Your direct adversaries. They target the same public and have a similar product. In the case of my hostel, there were similar accommodations with similar customer ratings in the same district and price range, targeting backpackers. Secondary competition. They either offer an upgraded or downgraded version of your product, or target a different audience. In my case, those were chain hotels, upgraded versions of my product, or hostels with considerably lower valuations than mine, which are the downgraded version, but following the same principles. Tertiary competition. Here are businesses from different segments than yours, but still could convince potential customers to prefer them instead of your company. Cluster firms selling products vaguely linked by their purpose, like a surfboard and a skateboard competing to be the Christmas gift of Californian teenagers. There is no need to spend much time with tertiary competitors, but you should monitor them to detect potential rivals and discover opportunities for cooperation. Example: RV, motorhomes rentals are not direct competitors for backpackers hostels. While in sporadic situations they target the same customers, in others it's possible to cooperate for mutual benefits, like when hostels are a starting point to motorhome road trips. Third, name, tag and SWOT your primary competitors. One of the biggest mistakes new entrepreneurs do is to stop at the first two steps and think that identifying your competitors is enough. It's not even close to enough. Just like knowing who is the enemy on the battlefield is nothing if you don't know the reach of the artillery. To know who are your primary competitors is an excellent step. But now it's time to understand them, study them, know their business almost as good as they know themselves. One of the greatest tools for this kind of analysis is the SWOT analysis. SWOT meaning strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What each one of them means. Strengths, features giving advantage to your competitor. Weaknesses, factors that cause disadvantages to your competitors and weaken their market position. Opportunities, characteristics in the environment or location that a rival can explore. Threats, characteristics in the environment that are potential obstacles for your rival. When opening my first business, I wanted to know how the major competitors worked. I visited their facilities and made a reservation for my father to sleep in one of them. I read what they offer for customers and observed their physical installations. I was lucky to not be confused with a weird stalker. One very important point to understand the strengths and weaknesses of your opponents is to read what the customers write about them. In a broad definition, the strengths of my rivals are threats to my business, while their weaknesses uncover opportunities for my company. Overall, I consider reading customer reviews of your primary adversaries one of the easiest, cheapest, and most efficient ways to discover untapped opportunities. By the way, please allow me a small digression. If you're enjoying this video, please give us a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button for our next videos, and activate the notifications. Now back to our subject. Make a comprehensive pricing scrutiny of your primary competitors. Your customers are the ones to decide if your price is fair or not. They will do it after comparing you with the competition. Therefore, anticipate it and do a pricing comparison yourself during the competitive analysis. In 2018, I approached another business to inquire about a potential acquisition. He had a budget hotel, which is the same sector of my business, and I noticed he was running it at a very low occupation. So I decided to inquire about his pricing, how much he charged for a night in a double room. The price he told me was almost 30% higher than the average market price. No wonder his hotel was empty. When I asked why such a high price, he answered, "This is what I think is fair for the quality of our services." Here is one painful truth. Your opinion of what a fair price is irrelevant. This is especially true if you are an entrepreneur in a new environment, since your idea of fairness can detach from reality. So do an extensive pricing comparison. And thanks for watching.